Would you like to have an impact on 1,500 people over the last few years? Well, my next guest, Mandy, has done just that, turning her passion into a charity and a purpose. Mandy Barter.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Yeah, you run a charity, which I'm one of the trustees, called My Cancer, My Choices.
Yeah.
And this is just really a conversation between us, because I think you do tremendous work. The reason I joined as a trustee was to help support the work that you're doing. But a good question from out there, from the audience, might be, why on earth did you give up a promising career a few years ago and start a charity of your own and no pay? Well, how did that come about?
Okay, well, I think everybody who starts a charity has an experience which leads them to start a charity. So in 2009, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. Actually, I was studying to be an acupuncturist at the time. I was in my third year of my course, and I went and I had conventional treatment for my breast cancer.
Okay.
And after I qualified as an acupuncturist, I thought I'd like to do something that supports people with cancer.
Do you know what? There's probably a lot of people out there that have that passion and that motivation, but don't do anything about it. It's something that they aspire to do. What did you do first then to get into that world of charity, of starting a charity and helping people in the local community?
Okay, I suppose from taking it back, I was a police officer for many years, and I used to pass the College of Integrated Chinese Medicine in Reading every day on my way to work, and I started having acupuncture. I worked in child protection for many years. It was a stressful job.
Yes.
And I thought, I'm going to go and have some acupuncture. I loved the acupuncture. It really helped me.
Right.
With all sorts of things. And after I retired from the police, I went and studied acupuncture. And as I say, that was in my third year that I got breast cancer.
Right.
And then started looking at all of the things that I could do to support myself.
Right.
Through my cancer journey.
Okay, so you are really pursuing your passion. I know that's something with a lot of the audience, whether it's in the world of work or the world of charity, but you've gone ahead and done it, and it's 6 years old now, the charity.
Yeah. Yes, it's 6 years
So
old.
tell us a bit about the charity setup, who it gets involved with, what the outcomes are.
So the charity itself, where we give complementary therapy to people who are undergoing cancer treatment in Berkshire. So we offer acupuncture, reflexology, oncology massage, aromatherapy massage, and since last year, when we had to close down our face-to-face service for several months, we looked at ways of supporting people online. So we started up a virtual service. So we deliver mindfulness, yoga. We've done some art therapy as well to help support people who are going through cancer.
That's quite a menu of offering. I wasn't keeping count, but it must have been over 20 therapies. All for free though, no charge.
So what we say is that the first 2 treatments are free, and if people are able to make a donation after that, that's,
Brilliant. And how many people in the county of Berkshire have been served by this charity?
So we 1,450.
Nearly 1,500. See, I like rounding up, you see. I'm an ex-bank manager.
So, 1,500.
Wow.
People. Yeah, and we've delivered 5,500 face-to-face treatments. Most complementary therapies are around about 45, 50, 60 pounds if you're, wherever you are. So that's a lot of.
And like a lot of therapies, they're not one-offs, you see, are they? So the cost can build up, even if, even on a day, per hour, whatever it is. Yeah. So it can be quite costly, and so people don't go for it.
Well, I think that's the whole purpose of the charity, is to make these therapies accessible to everyone, and not just people who can afford them. And that's really an important part of the ethos of the charity, is to make these therapies accessible. And also what we find is that people don't know about therapies, they don't know where to access them. And because we have a good, strong relationship with the NHS, they refer to us now. And I think that sort of cross-pollination is really, really important.
It must be hard, because from the medical profession you get a life-changing conversation with a clinician.
Yes.
And you've been through that yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
So your world has turned upside down.
Yes.
So to have something that augments and adds to what the NHS would provide in terms of treatments can only be a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's important, and I think for a lot of people who have cancer, that loss of control is the major thing, that they really feel they can't see what's going on. They really feel that they're losing control. So to actually have, and that's why the charity's called My Cancer, My Choices, is to enable people to have some choice, which is not just around affordability.
Rather than feeling they're on some sort of conveyor belt, driven by others.
Yes, well, yes, it's obviously the standardised treatment, but I think there is a lot that you can do to support yourself, and there are lots of charities. The NHS run a something called Take Control, which the cancer rehab run in Berkshire. So again, that's all about taking control. My Cancer, My Choices.
So you've listed a gazillion therapies that My Cancer, My Choices offers. What's the top one that's requested by patients?
The one for us is acupuncture.
On
the face-to-face. What we find is that actually more men are interested in that
what, needles?
Therapy. Yes,
is that right?
Well, because there's a very much a research base around acupuncture, and that's why the NHS will refer people to us for certain things, such as hot flushes, which conventionally, if you've got a hormone-driven cancer, you won't be able to take something like HRT. So acupuncture has got good research basis for helping people with hot flushes.
And sadly, I heard a figure, you might be able to confirm one way or t'other, 1 in 2 of us will be affected by cancer at some point in our lives. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
1 in 2?
Yeah, 1 in 2, yeah.
Which is incredible. I mean, the county of Berkshire has nearly 1 million people.
Yes.
So we've got some work to do.
We've got some work to do and continue to do.
You mentioned about the online therapies came about during COVID. So actually there's been some positive out of the lockdown. Does that mean then the therapies can go to beyond the county borders?
Yeah, so with the mindfulness courses at the moment, and again they're popular, all of our therapies are popular, but you asked which one's the most requested, and that's acupuncture. The mindfulness courses we set up during last year when we couldn't see people face to face, because there's no good just stopping. We had to support people. I felt that we really needed.
Still people in need.
Oh, absolutely.
Cancer didn't stop because COVID started.
No, absolutely not. So it was really important to give those people support. So that's when we started looking at mindfulness, introduced yoga, introduced art therapy, and we also started doing acupressure online, teaching people how to, with self-care, with acupressure, and also hand massage, and all of those things that help relax people.
So what is next? Because that's 6 years. I mean, it's just incredible to go from 0 to a couple of dozen therapies that help people in a very real way.
Well, it may sound like a lot of therapies, but that is definitely half a dozen therapies.
Okay.
Yeah, but obviously we'd look to expand our therapies.
Okay.
We are across Berkshire now. I think we've now got our own premises thanks to the generosity of Accord, who have helped support us do that.
I've been there a few times.
Yeah, it's great to have our own space. We're still in Bracknell Health Space, obviously, which is an NHS space. We're in West Berkshire, and also we've got rooms at the College of Integrated Chinese Medicine, so we are definitely accessible.
Can you see the reach that the charity has expanding beyond?
Yes, going back to the virtual offering, we're actually offering the mindfulness courses to people outside of Berkshire. Because that has no bounds, which is really good.
So for people like me,
Yeah.
that may be listening to mindfulness, they might have heard of it. What is that exactly?
So mindfulness is literally being in the present, here and now. So you and I talking,
Okay, right.
being really present in that.
Right.
You're not thinking, oh my gosh, how long is she going to start babbling on about?
Okay.
Mindfulness? It's just our presence here and now, not really thinking about, what we're going to have for tea later on, or what's going to happen tomorrow, or anything else.
But that must help people who are going through some sort of psychological trauma.
Well, absolutely.
It's to try and stabilise, I guess, your mindset.
It's to stop the overwhelm.
Yeah.
And a lot of people with cancer diagnosis, it turns their world upside down. So it's literally your mind can be a little bit like a wild horse.
Yeah.
So it's actually
Racing ahead.
Yeah, just reining that horse in.
Yeah.
So everything is...
And you can do that through the ether.
Yeah, and our mindfulness course is for 4 weeks long. There's all sorts of practices that you can do to help yourself.
Yeah.
With that.
So here's a question for you.
Okay.
If you've been running the charity, you've been heading up the charity. I know there's 50 volunteers.
Yeah, more.
So it's a big team, and you've got an office team as well that ably support you.
Yeah.
So there's probably 60 people that are involved. Oh, and the trustees. So there's 70.
Yes. It's probably about 60 with the fundraising team, the trustees.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of people.
Yeah.
If you had your time again, so we reversed 6 years ago,
Yeah.
with what you've learned in the last 6 years, what would you do differently if you had your time again?
I think that charities are started with a passion.
Yep. Clearly.
Naivety.
Yeah, you don't want too much knowledge because you may never get round to it.
No, exactly. And a great team of people.
Yeah, that's definitely there.
So that's and maybe it's just about having the knowledge that I have now that back then six years ago. Would I do anything differently? Do you know, Rob, it's been an amazing time, and obviously everybody we've all faced challenges.
Yeah.
But it makes you resilient. You have to go through it. You can't go around it or reverse back or.
That almost sounded like a nursery rhyme to me. We're going on a bear hunt. But you're right.
Sometimes it's far a bit
Can't
like
go over it. Can't go under it.
But it's been incredible, and I think what keeps everybody going is the courage and the humility of people that we see in the charity, which is amazing.
So what are you looking for as chief executive?
Yeah.
What does the charity need right now?
Well,
going forward.
Going forward, I think with all charities, it's about sustainability.
Yes.
We want to continue going forward. And serve as many people as we can who are going through a cancer diagnosis, because it can be very isolating. As I say, you can feel very out of control, and that just not affects you; it affects everybody around you. Also worrying on your behalf.
So sustainability is a really nice way of saying money.
Yes, well, sustainability with money and with volunteers.
Right.
Because we cannot, I think we've got a great team of therapists and meet-greeters.
Yes.
As well as our, staff that we have, and they all do a fabulous job. And we couldn't do what we do without our volunteers.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you just have a bank balance.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be able to deliver a service.
No.
So it's a really good blend between the cash and doing something that impacts on people's lives in a real and tangible way.
Yes.
And if 1,500 in 6 years, what about 15,000 in the next 6 years?
Why not?
Mandy, thank you for your time, and thank you for just being open and candid.
Okay.
And if you feel prompted to get involved with the charity, whether it's as a volunteer, meet-a-greeter, a therapist, a trustee,
Yes.
Or you just simply have cash burning a hole in your pocket and you'd like to shift some of that across, get in touch with Mandy direct, and the contact details will come up on the end slate.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time as well.
Thank you.